Morning all. Lovely to see you, albeit remotely. And yeah, let's get going today. This one was inspired by a lovely article I read by the journalist Melody Reid, who tragically had a catastrophic riding accident, maybe about 10 years ago now. And she's still a columnist for the Times. And she wrote this a while back, and I really thought about this as I was in town the other day, just watching people moving about. She wrote, humans need to be careful. They are losing the ability to linger. Lingering is the greatest luxury in the world, and it's free. It's what people used to do when they were waiting, or early, or not busy, or between meetings. It was the margin around the pages of our day, when we could just go into neutral and idle for a bit. A chance to daydream, make plans, read plaques on a wall, study things we wouldn't normally even notice. When was the last time anyone lingered in this frenetic, noisy world of ours? Those snatched moments of empty time, if they exist now at all, are devoted to smartphone scrolling, head down, brain immersed in life online, catching up on things we've convinced ourselves need catching up on. And I thought how true and how quickly we've forgotten, maybe in lockdown, how many of us said, oh, we're going to slow down and kind of take life a little easier, and how quickly it is to get wrapped up in all the busyness that's around us. So really use this next hour to kind of linger in your postures. There's no rush. If you want to hold a particular posture because it's really giving you a sense of release and relief, go ahead and do that. If you want to have a rest in child pose, again, you just linger in whatever pose feels good for you today. We're going to start lying down on our back. So as ever, if you need something underneath the back of your head, or you want to pop a blanket nearby, feel free. But oh, that feels good. Let's just ease our way down onto our backs. Bring your knees towards your chest and just give yourself a little self-soothing massage. Sometimes the lower back can get a little bit tight, so just give it a little rock or a circle of your knees, do whatever feels nice. And then we'll bring the feet down to the floor, a little wider than hip width apart. We'll keep the knees bent to start with. And just allow your inner knees to rest against each other. You might need to just pick up your hips and scoot your tailbone down the mat a little bit to create that sense of space around the lower back. Maybe do the same, lifting your head and tucking your chin in so you feel a nice lengthening through the neck. And the arms can simply rest wherever is comfortable, a hand on the chest and the belly, or maybe just down alongside you. Maybe trying to turn your palms up towards the ceiling so you can feel a sense of openness through the chest. Closing the eyes, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you breathe out, just letting go of any sense of busyness or the need to rush through your practice this morning. Letting go of your day thus far. Maybe you've been very busy this morning or this afternoon, whenever you're choosing to practice. Just see if you can begin to drop all of that behind you and begin to turn that spotlight inward now as you bring your focus to your breath. Not worrying if your breath changes a little bit as you shift the focus. It sometimes speeds up or slows down as we begin to follow each in-breath. Follow its path all the way in and down. And then watching the release of the exhale all the way out and up. With each exhale, just allow yourself to hand your body over to the mat. So we've got no sense of gripping or holding. Softening your face. Maybe just the hint of a smile at the corner of your eyes and the corner of your mouth. It's a beautiful autumnal day as I practice today. Really beautiful. Something to smile about. Let's take a couple more breaths there, just settling into the rhythm of your breath and really let that rhythm set the pace of your practice today. So if your hands are resting on your chest or on your belly, just let the arms fall alongside you, the palms up towards the ceiling. And we'll just start to gently wiggle the fingers a little bit. Waking up through the hands, and then just open and close your hands a couple of times. Maybe the thumb is wrapped on top of your fingers. Maybe you're closing it into the center of your palm. You can alternate between the two. And then keeping the fingers spread and the palms open, have a little twirl of the wrists. So you might prop yourself up on your elbows as you give those wrists a little bit of a twirl around both ways. And then placing the hands down alongside you, palms down toward the floor. We'll walk the feet in until they're hip width apart, snuggling your heels in towards your bottom. So we're just going to wake up from the bottom up, starting with our feet this morning or this afternoon. Let's lift the heels, coming onto the balls of the feet. Whenever you're practicing, this is a good one. Let's drop the heels and then lift the toes. So we're rolling through the feet. Let's add the breath. So inhale, lift the heels. You're coming onto the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, drop the heels and lift the toes. And just carry on doing that a few times, trying to spread your toes as you lift up, getting a little bit of sense of space across the ball of your foot. And when you lift your heels, try not to press down too hard, otherwise you perhaps induce a little bit of cramp in your calves. So do that nice and gently. Let's do one more, lifting the heels as you inhale. And lifting the toes as you exhale. Let's bring the feet flat to the floor. We're going to layer in the arms now. Now, if this is too much, just simply carry on lifting the heels and then rolling across the ball of the foot. But if you can, as you inhale, lift the heels and float both arms all the way back above your head, spreading the hands nice and wide. And then as you exhale, lower the heels, lower the arms and lift the toes, giving them a little wiggle maybe. So inhale, arms lift up and back as you rise up onto the balls of the feet. And exhaling, drop the heels, lower the arms and lift the toes. Let's do that a couple more times. So remembering that yoga is not just about the movement, it's about the breath. So let's see if we can just tune in to the rhythm of our breath and synchronize movement with breath. Last one, inhaling, arms lift, heels lift. Exhaling, arms lower, just lifting onto the heels, spreading the toes one last time. And then we'll bring the feet down to the floor and bring your right knee in towards your chest. You might need to rearrange your hips there. And we'll just start to either circle that right knee or open and close it like you're hinging a door open and close. Whatever works for your hip today. I'm going to take my knee round in a little circle. You might use one hand or both hands to steer the knee round. Try and relax your lower leg so that leg is being steered round. Change direction if you're circling like me. Getting into that hip joint, that big stabilizing joint of the body. And then we'll bring the foot all the way down to the floor and simply change sides. So left knee coming up towards the chest. Again, you might need to just pick up your hips slightly. And then we'll take the leg round again in a little circle or just open and close the knee. One side might feel a little bit different. We're going to do some nice hip stretches to start with. Oh. Nothing like a little bit of hip work to get us going. And then change direction. We can get quite stiff in the hips. I know I do. So a nice sense of release coming up. And then we'll bring both feet down to the floor, arms down alongside you. Let's see if we can start a little shoulder bridge. So really pressing down into all 10 toes. As you inhale, let's just lift the hips, coming up into a little shoulder bridge. And as you exhale, really lingering in that descent, trying to create that sense of space between each vertebrae. So inhaling, maybe coming up a little bit higher as you roll the spine up off the floor, pressing into the base of the big toe. And exhale, roll your way down, lengthening tailbone down towards your heels. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. So inhaling, maybe coming up to that flat area between your shoulder blades now, pressing the knees forwards. And exhale, really get that sense of lengthening the spine down towards the floor as you roll your way down. And when your hips touch down, we'll bring that right knee back in towards your chest. But this time we'll hold around the back of the leg and come up into a nice hamstring stretch. So keep a softness in the knee, try and relax your shoulders, relax your face as we start to turn the ankle. Trying to keep the knee still. So we're just moving into the ankle joint. Twirling the foot round, maybe the toes get a little bit of movement there as well, and then round the opposite way. Lovely. And then we'll flex the foot, push the heel up and away, and then point the foot. So inhale to flex, pull the toes back, and exhale to point the toes away. Let's do that one more. So opening up through the back and the front of the ankle. And then we'll keep the foot gently flexed and try to press the back of the leg very gently against your hands, and your hands resist a little bit, so you feel an opening through the back of the knee. Stretch for the hamstrings, and then keeping the knee bent, hook your right ankle just on top of your left knee there. Using your right hand, will just press the knee away from you as though you're a little butterfly opening its wing. And then using that right hand, bring that right knee in towards you. So you're like a butterfly closing its wing. So inhale, press the knee away from you. Have a little look at the screen if you're a bit confused. And as you exhale, draw that knee in towards you. So again, hinging on the ankle joint. Let's do one more. Inhale to open. Feel that nice stretch in the front of the hip. And exhale to close the knee in towards the midline. Let's press that knee away from you. Keep the foot flexed and the knee open now. So we bring the arms out level with the shoulders. But take a nice breath in. As you breathe out, let's drop the knees over to the left. So the sole of that right foot is heading towards the floor. And just see if you can press that right knee up towards the ceiling. So again, that same action of pivoting on the ankle joint. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, try and point that knee down towards the floor. A little stretch in the outer hip perhaps. So inhale, you push the knee away from you, up towards the ceiling. And exhale, a little pivot on the ankle as you bring that knee down towards the floor. Let's do that one more. So inhale, you might not move very much, depending on how the hips feel. Exhale to close. Let's push that knee up and away from you as you roll back through the center, back onto your backs, and straight over to the other side. So this time the right knee is drawing the left knee down towards the floor. You can pick up your head and take your gaze over that left arm as you just try and relax into that twist. You can always unhook your ankle if this is a little bit too much for the lower back. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Last little hip stretch. You can just bring your right hand to the inside of your knee and press the knee away from you. Or join me in a reclined pigeon, lifting head and shoulders, holding on around the back of your left thigh, lowering the head, lowering the shoulders, and just let your left heel drop down towards your bottom there. Leg is really floppy. As you bring that right shin towards your chest. Try and keep that knee pressed out to the side. And if you want a little bit more, you can just hold on around the front of that left shin, just below the knee. As you lower your head, your shoulders, I can feel that my left heel is being squeezed a little bit more tightly down towards my buttock. You might want to have a little rock from side to side. Oh, I can feel that this morning. That feels nice. A little stretch. Lovely. And then slowly, let's bring the left foot down to the floor. Uncross the legs, so you bring both feet down. Let's do that little shoulder bridge, a symmetrical pose before we do the asymmetry of the other side. And this time, as you inhale and lift your hips, maybe you reach both arms all the way back behind you, layering on the arms. And as you exhale, lower the hips and lower the hands. Let's keep the palms open, fingers spread nice and wide. And again, so pressing into the feet, lift the hips. If you don't want to lift your arms, you can just work the hips this morning, rolling up through the spine. And exhale, let's lower the hips as you bring the arms all the way back down alongside you. This time we'll push into the feet, lift the hips, reach the arms back and pause. And get that sense of opposition. Fingertips reaching back, knees stretching forwards. Option to rise up onto the balls of the feet. Keep the heels lifted, keep the arms reaching back this time as you roll your way down. Oh, lovely stretch for each side of the waist there. And when your hips touch down, lower the heels, bring the arms all the way back down, and then bring that left knee in towards the chest. We're going to do that all on the other side. So coming up into that little hamstring stretch, holding on around the back of the leg. Remember to soften your shoulders as we start to circle the ankle there. Sometimes when we're focusing on the lower body, we forget about the upper body and tension can creep back in. So just check in with the shoulders and the face as you take that foot round the opposite way. And then we'll push the heel up towards the ceiling, feeling that stretch in the back of the leg. And then point the toes. So inhale to flex, toes pull down. And exhale, point the toes away. Let's do that one more time. So feeling a nice stretch in the front and the back of the ankle. And then we'll keep the foot flexed and again, gently press the back of your leg into your hands. And your hands just resist a little bit. So you feel a stretch in the back of the knee. And then keeping the foot flexed, we'll hook your ankle just to rest on your right knee or just below the knee and press that left knee away from you. So again, that little butterfly action, we use that left hand then to bring the knee in towards the midline, like a little butterfly closing its wing. Inhale to press the knee away from you, hinging on the ankle joint. And exhale, bring that knee in towards the midline. Let's do that one more time. So inhale to open the knee. And exhale to close the knee. Let's keep the knee pressed away from you now as you release the arms out, level with the shoulders. We'll take an inhale. And this time we'll come over to the right. So sole of that left foot leading the way, coming over to the right side. And again, we'll get that little butterfly action. So pressing the knee away from you and then closing the knee. So you want to point the knee down towards the floor. So inhale, press the knee up towards the ceiling. And exhale, close the knee down towards the floor. Let's do that one more time. You might feel, I can feel this differently on this side. This side feels a little stiffer than the other side. So not worrying if you're feeling as asymmetrical as I am. So push that knee away from you. Let's come all the way back through center. It's perfectly normal. And then we'll simply tip over to the other side. So knees coming over to the left. Maybe turning your head in the opposite direction as we come into that little twist. Remembering you can always unhook your ankle if that's a little bit too much for your low back today. Lovely. Roll on onto your back. Ready for that last little hip stretch, that reclined pigeon. So you might just want to press the knee away from you. Or you can lift head and shoulders so you can take hold around the back of the right leg. Let your heel drop down towards your bottom. And gently release the head back down to the floor. And really focus on keeping that left knee squeezed away from you. So we want that opening through the hip. And if you want a little bit more, maybe you're more open in your hips, you hold on around the front of the leg, just below the knee. So you're bringing that right heel a little bit more closely down towards your bottom. Try and relax into your shoulders, your upper back, soften your face as you bring that left shin parallel to your chest. Lovely. Let's release right foot to floor and uncross the ankle there. Let's bring both knees back in towards the chest, taking them wide this time so you can hook one ankle over the other. And just steer the knees round in a circle so you're getting a nice massage around the side of the buttocks and into the low back. Lovely. And then pausing so you can cross the legs the other way and take the knees round in the opposite direction. Now deciding how you want to come up and round to all fours, you might just want to roll to one side today, or holding on around the back of the knees, roll your way up, use a bit of momentum, tuck the feet around behind you and we'll find our way onto all fours. Spreading your hands onto your shoulders and bringing your knees onto your hips. And just take care that your knees aren't too close to your wrists, otherwise you're already rounding your back. We want that nice sense of length through the front and the back of the body. So pressing into your hands, just come into that lovely flat back, that tabletop position to start with. And as we come into our all familiar cat and cow, let's see if we can lead each movement with the tailbone. So as you inhale, tuck your tailbone up, begin to dip your belly. Keep bringing your chest forwards, keep pressing into your hands as you take the chin away from your chest. And as you exhale, tailbone tucks under as we roll that movement all the way up the spine. Head moves last, chin dropping down to your chest. So inhale, tailbone lifts, ripple that movement forwards all the way up the spine. And exhale, like a little greyhound, tucking its tail between its legs, round your way up. And a couple more times, and we've not changed the movement, but sometimes simply by changing the focus, we become more aware of that movement, rippling back and forth, creating that sense of space. Let's do that one more time. So tailbone tilting up, chest pulling forwards, keep pressing into your hands so you don't disappear into your shoulders. And then rounding up. Beautiful. Let's take an inhale in that flat back, and as you exhale, sliding hips to heels. Take a moment in child pose. Take the heat out of the wrist by coming onto your finger pads. Pressing your fingers forwards and down as you hug your hips back towards your heels there. And nice stretch out through the side of the body. Lovely. And then we'll bring the palms flat down to the floor. We'll come back onto all fours and slide your right leg back behind you, coming onto the ball of the foot. And then take your left arm forwards, fingertips on the floor, palm facing inwards. So we just extended arm and leg. We're going to lift shoulder and hip height, try not to dip in the middle. And then bringing the toes and the fingertips down before sliding knee and hand back to center. So inhale, sliding away. Exhale to lift, shoulder and hip height. Inhale to lower, and exhale to slide hand and knee back underneath. Let's do that twice more. So working that right leg and left arm, we lift. Inhale to lower, and exhale, sliding back in. You're working balance today. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. If it's too much, you can always just lift the arm or lift the leg. Inhale and exhale. Let's take the arm and the leg out as you inhale. Lifting as you exhale, pausing now. See if you can lift that upper arm a little bit higher. And if you want to challenge your balance, try taking arm and leg out on the diagonal. Coming all the way back through center. Let's bring the fingertips and the toes down. Keep the leg extended, but slide that hand back underneath the shoulder. Come onto the ball of the foot and have a little roll back and forth. Really trying to get into the toes, maybe rolling over the toe joints. And then coming to stillness, we're going to flick that left shin behind you, coming into a side plank. So coming onto the inside of that right foot. We're going to take the right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Pushing the hips forwards, take an inhale. And as you exhale, extend that top arm above the head, lifting your ear towards your upper arm. Keep pressing those hips forwards. Lovely. And then we'll come up all the way back onto all fours, very slowly, bringing the knees back underneath the hips. Tuck the toes under. And for a moment, push the hips up and back into a downward dog. Let's take the heat off the knees this time. Take the opportunity to have a little pedal out, a little swing of the hips, maybe a shake of the head. I'm just going to turn on the other side so you can see me. Lovely. And then as you inhale, let's drop back down onto all fours. And exhaling, flatten the feet and coming back into that child pose. This time, arms stay long, palms stay flat to the floor. Pulling yourself back onto all fours as you inhale, lowering all the way down onto your belly as you exhale, sliding those elbows underneath the shoulders as we find Sphinx pose. Now, if your back feels tight today, take the elbows a little forwards and wider so your chest is closer to the floor. If you're with me, we're drawing the elbows back towards the side of the waist, palms flat, forearms parallel. Drop some weight through the hips. And as you inhale, look over that right shoulder and bring your right heel in towards your bottom, flexing the foot. And as you exhale, extend the leg away, pointing the toes, head to center. So inhaling, looking over left shoulder, heel to bottom, so we're flexing the foot. Exhale as you lower, pointing the toes away from you. Let's do that one more time. So keep the chest lifted. Keep that little sense of pulling your elbows back towards the outside of your waist. Point the toes as you release the leg. Let's do that one more time to the left. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Widen the elbows, hands under the shoulders. We'll push back up onto all fours. And do that little stretch on the other side this time. So hands under shoulders, sliding left foot back this time. Try not to dip the hips and slide the right fingertips forward. So you're turning onto your fingertips, palm facing up towards, palm facing in, thumb up. You're going to lift shoulder and hip height. Try not to dip in the middle. Toes and fingertips touch down. And then sliding the hand and the knee back underneath you. So inhale to slide away. Exhale to lift. Thumb leads the way, palm facing in. Inhale to lower. And exhale to slide back underneath. We'll do that twice more. You might notice that one side feels a little less stable than the other. You have to work a little bit harder. So again, you can always lift just the leg or just the arm. Let's do that one more time. Let's see if you can challenge your balance, building up a lot of strength in the core, and also strengthening those big postural muscles of the back. This time we'll slide arm and leg away. Inhale. Exhale and lift now. So lifting that front arm a little higher. Maybe taking the arm and the leg out the diagonal. It's not got to be a big move. Woo, come back to center. Toes touch down, fingertips touch down. Keep the leg extended, but slide that hand back under the shoulder. And we'll start that little rock back and forth. It's rolling across the ball of the foot, maybe across the toe joints. Lovely. And then coming to stillness, just pull up the lower abdominals as we flick that right shin behind you now. So you're pivoting on the knee. Coming into that side plank, left arm lifting, hips push forwards. Take a big breath in as you reach up and breathing out. Extend that top arm alongside your head, lifting ear towards upper arm and pressing the hips gently forwards. Beautiful. Slowly coming back onto all fours. Keeping the toes tucked under, take an inhale. Exhale, push the hips up and back, downward dog. Again, have that little pedal out with the feet. Pressing the heels down. Lovely. And then inhaling back onto all fours. Exhaling, hips to heels, coming into that child pose. Arms long in front of you, palms flat to floor. Rising to all fours as you inhale. Exhale to lower yourself down, elbows hug in, and then slide those elbows underneath the shoulders, coming back into our Sphinx pose. So feel that heaviness through the hips, that buoyancy through the upper body. Right heel coming in as you inhale, turning the head over that right shoulder, flexing the foot. Exhale, point the toes, head to center as you lower the leg away from you. Other side, so flexing the foot, inhale. Try and keep your chin parallel to the floor. Exhale, lengthen the leg away from you, pointing the toes. Do that one more time. Try to keep that lift through the chest. So again, imagine you're gently tugging those elbows back towards the outside of the body. Last time with the left. Beautiful. And then elbows go nice and wide. Let's press the hands under the shoulders, coming back onto all fours. And this time we'll take a downward facing dog, lifting the hips all the way up and back. And have that little pedal out with the feet there. I'm just going to come to the opposite side of my mat, so I'm mirroring you. Lovely. And then bringing the feet together, or as close together as feels comfortable. Pop a little bend in the knees so you can press your hips up and back. Ready for those leg lifts. So keeping the armpit square to the floor. As you inhale, we're going to float the right leg all the way up and back, toes turning out. And exhale, bring the foot to the floor. Other side, left leg floating up as you inhale. And exhale, lower down. We're going to do that one more time. So trying not to shift the weight too much from hand to hand as you lift the leg and lower on an exhale. Left leg lifting this time, inhale. And exhale to lower. Let's take that right leg all the way up. Pausing now as you rise onto the ball of the underneath foot. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, step or help that right foot forwards. Whoop, and we'll drop the back knee, flattening the toes. Inhale as you sweep the arms up, lovely crescent lunge. And exhale, fingertips find the floor. Start to move the hips up and back as you inhale. And then into that little hamstring stretch, maybe pulling the toes towards your face as you exhale. Plant the foot, bend the knee, arms lift, inhale, lovely crescent lunge. Exhaling, fingertips find the floor. Start to move the hips back as you inhale. And exhale into that lovely hamstring stretch. Last time, inhaling up. And be dropping that left hip forwards. And exhale, fingertips to floor. Start to move the hips up and back as you inhale. This time as you exhale, we're going to pause and hold. So maybe sliding that front heel away from you. Try and keep the chest lifted. Swing those hips back to the middle of your mat. And if you want a little bit more, wrap your right hand around the top of your right foot and see if you can draw the toes back towards you a little more. That'll get into that hamstring. Oh. Lovely. Let's bring both hands to the floor, bending that front knee. Let's take the right arm all the way up towards the ceiling, coming into a lovely twist. Try and keep the chest forward. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands down. We're going to pick up the back knee and take that right leg up and back into a three-legged dog. Extend the leg all the way up. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to step the right foot forwards again. Woo, you didn't expect that, did you? This time dropping the back heel in, ready for a warrior two. So walk that front foot to the middle of the mat. And then when you're ready, we're going to cartwheel the arms all the way up into our warrior two. So just check that front knee is rolling in. Just press it out towards the little toe as you sink into that front knee. Lovely, palms turning up. As you inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up, straightening the legs. The palms might touch above your head. And exhale, bend that front knee back into your warrior two, gazing forwards. Lovely. So inhale, arms lift up. I'm losing my hands, but you know where I'm going with it. Exhale, bend the knee. And lower the arms left to right. Lovely. One more time. So inhale, straightening the leg. Okay, your bottom isn't sticking out. And exhale. So we're going to add on, straightening the legs, arms lift, inhale. This time as you exhale, we're going to reach the right arm back, coming into our reverse triangle. Inhaling into your warrior two, bend the front knee. And as you exhale, right forearm to thigh, and the top arm can come up or up and over. So straightening the legs, arrow the arms up, inhale. Reverse your triangle, exhale, right arm arcing back into your warrior, inhale. Forearm to thigh, or bring that hand down a little lower, down towards the floor perhaps, got to drop into your hips. Last time, inhale, rise up, straightening the legs. Exhale, arc the body back. Inhaling into your warrior two, and this time as you exhale, let's cartwheel the hands down, pivoting on the back foot, bring the chest forwards, and as you inhale, take that right arm up, back into that twist, back knee lifted now if you can. Let's lower both hands to the floor and take that right leg up and back one last time into a three-legged dog. Lowering the foot to the floor. As you inhale, roll the body forwards to plank, shoulders above wrists. And as you exhale, knees down, chest down, coming down onto your tummy. Let's come into a little cobra, hugging those elbows in towards your ribcage as you inhale. And exhale, lower down to the floor. Pressing up onto all fours, breath in. And as you breathe out, push the hips up and back, downward dog. I'm just going to come to the other side of my mat, so I'm mirroring you. Twirly, twirly. Feel free to take a child pose if you wish, but if you're with me in that downward dog, again, have a little pedal out, maybe a little twist as you peek underneath one armpit, and then the other. And then we'll bring the big toes and the ankles as close together as feels comfortable. A little bend in the knees, send the hips up and back. Ready for those leg lifts. So left leg lifting this time. Inhale, float the leg up. And exhale to lower down. Other side, so inhaling, trying to keep those armpits square to the floor. And exhale, lower down. Can we do one more each way? Yeah, of course we can. Inhaling up. Woo. And exhale to lower. Last one. Inhale, right leg lifting, floating up. And exhale, beautiful. This time we're going to take the left leg all the way up, rising onto the ball of the underneath foot. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to set that foot forwards and drop the back knee. I'm going to flatten my foot, but you can keep the toes tucked if you wish. Arms lift, crescent lunge as you inhale. Fingertips float down as you exhale. Start to move the hips up and back as you inhale. And exhale, sinking the back into that little hamstring stretch. Rising up, crescent lunge. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhaling, fingertips to floor. Keep the chest lifted as you start to move the hips back as you inhale. And maybe lift the toes towards the face as you exhale. Lovely. Last time, dropping that right hip forwards as you sweep the arms up. Exhaling, hands down. Inhaling, start to move the hips. And as you exhale into that hamstring stretch, remember, if your hamstrings are very tight, you can keep your front knee bent and foot to floor, or slide the heel away from you, pressing the heel down, swinging those hips back to the middle of your mat. And maybe left hand wraps around the ball of the foot and just gently pulls the toes back towards your face. That really does increase the stretch, so go easy on your hamstring there. Lovely. You're going to roll through the ball of the foot. Beautiful. Keep the knee down as you take your left arm up this time, coming into that lovely twist. Really bring the chest forwards. Take an inhale. Exhale, hand comes down. Picking up the back knee, we're going to take the left leg up and back into our three-legged dog. Woo! We take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to step it forwards again. Woo! Middle of the mat. Dropping that back heel in, ready for your warrior two. So setting yourself up for greatness as we come up into our warrior two. So walking that front foot to the middle of the mat. Arrowing that front knee forwards. And again, turning the palms up, straightening the legs. Inhale, arms lift. So don't worry if your palms don't meet above your head. And exhale, bend the knee. And we take the gaze forwards back into our warrior. And again, inhale. So feel the strength of the legs all the way up as you rise up. And then exhale, bend the knee. Lovely. One more time as you lift up. Your bottom is sticking out a bit. Think about lengthening your tailbone. Pull up through the belly and exhale. Reach the arms out. So we're going to add on, inhaling up. And as you exhale, reach that left arm all the way back behind you as you come into your reverse triangle. Bend the front knee back into your warrior two. Inhale. Forearm to thigh, top arm up or up and over. Exhale. Straightening both legs, arrow the arms up, inhale. Exhale, left arm reaching back, legs stay straight. Bending that front knee, warrior two, inhale. And this time as you exhale, maybe that hand comes down a little bit lower towards shin or ankle. Last time, straightening the legs, arms lift, inhale. Arcing the body back as you exhale. Last time into our warrior two, inhale. And this time as we exhale, let's take a big cartwheel of the hands down, pivoting on the back foot, drop the hips, bring the chest forwards, and then take the left arm all the way up, back into your twist, keeping the back knee lifted if you can. Hands lower down. Let's take that left leg up and back, three-legged dog, whoosh, and then lower the foot to the floor. Inhale, roll the body forwards to plank. Maybe the knees stay lifted this time as you come down onto your tummies. Remember, you can use your knees. Into that little cobra, elbows squeeze in as you inhale. And exhale to lower down. Let's push back up onto all fours. And take a moment in child pose. So maybe your big toes are together, you widen your knees slightly. If your shoulders or upper body feel tight today, try resting one hand on top of the other. Elbows go out side to side. And then you can just rest your head on your hands or stacked fists. You get that little sinking of your chest down between your knees. It's a lovely sense of release for the upper back. So feel free to take that option. I quite like that option because my shoulders and my back get quite tight. Let's take a couple of steadying breaths, so gathering up the threads of your attention, the threads of your breath. Let's linger in that child pose for a moment. Lovely. And if you've got your head resting on your hands like I have, we'll reach the arms forwards, coming back onto all fours, and then from all fours, walking your hands back towards your knees. So we come up into standing kneeling. We'll have our knees about hip width apart, a little wider if you've got any issues with the low back, just broaden your base. We'll sweep the arms up as you inhale. And as you exhale, take a little twist to the right. Just let the arms wrap around the body. So inhale, reaching up. Keep the hips pressed forwards as we take that to the left. So again, the arms just wrap around the body. One more each way. Float the arms up, inhale. And exhale, little twist. You can look over that back shoulder if that's okay for your neck. Inhaling, reaching up. And exhale to twist. So this time we'll reach the arms up, inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands all the way back behind you so you can rest the hands just on the tops of the buttocks. You tuck your toes under or keep your feet flat, whatever works for you. And think about lengthening up through the front of your belly. Lift your chest a little bit higher as you squeeze the elbows to the wall behind you, pressing the hips gently forwards. A little tightening up through your bottom there as we come into a little baby camel pose. And then chin tucking in. We'll bring the hands down, coming back onto all fours, tucking the toes under as you reach the arms to the top corners of your mat. And from there, push your hips back above your knees and allow your forehead or your chest to sink down towards the floor. It's called heart melting pose. This is too much on your shoulders, then just again, widen your elbows and rest your forehead on your hands there. Lovely, just getting a nice counter pose after that camel pose. And then slowly walking the hands back underneath the shoulders. Keep the toes tucked under as we push up into our downward dog. But this time from our downward dog, we'll walk the feet towards the hands, coming to the top of the mat. Bend your knees generously in that forward fold. Maybe cradle your elbows, have that little sway. But if you're doing that movement from side to side, try and bring the movement from your waist rather than the elbows pulling you from side to side. Lovely. And then coming to stillness, let the arms dangle. And then as you straighten the legs, slide the hands up to your thighs, fingertips point down towards the floor. Again, come into that lovely flat back, so get a sense of crown lengthening forwards, tailbone lengthening back, firming up through those lower abdominals. Now, any back issues, keep your hands on your thighs. Or if you're with me, reach the arms out, level with your shoulders, like aeroplane wings. Maybe feel a stretch in the back of the leg. Lifting the back of the hands up towards the ceiling. And then bring your hands to your thighs. Turn your fingertips to face each other. Bend your knees and make that angry cat shape again. Tucking your tailbone under, drop your chin to your chest. So we're rounding the back. And then from there, roll yourself up to standing. Beautiful. Let's bring the feet hip width apart. And as you inhale, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, hands come down to heart. Lovely. Let's add a knee bend. So inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And exhaling, hands to heart. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. So inhaling up. And as you exhale, let's bring the hands down to the heart. And if you can, bring your feet and your ankles together. So that's not going to suit everyone's hips, so you can always keep them a little bit further apart. But if you can, everything squeezing together. And get that sense of everything pulling toward the midline as you sink the hips back into your chair pose. So keep the chest lifted, make sure the knees aren't wobbling out to the side. Now imagine your lower body is set in concrete now as we take a little twist to the right. Back of the left hand comes to the outside of your knee or your thigh, and reach that right arm out to the side, maybe just level with your shoulder, or maybe up a little bit higher. You can take your gaze up towards the fingertips. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Hands coming to heart. Take the gaze forwards and see if you can lift up onto the balls of the feet, keeping the ankles and the knees squeezing together. With resistance, lower the heels. Inhale. Exhale, sink the hips back into that chair pose. Ooh, heart stays lifted. Take that little twist to the left. Lower body set in concrete, right hand comes across the body. Left arm reaches out to the side or maybe up towards the ceiling there. Coming into that little twist. Lovely, all the way back through center, hands coming to heart, straighten your legs. Rising up onto the balls of the feet. Ooh, a little balance. Lower those heels with resistance. One more time, inhale. Exhaling, hips drop back. Taking that little twist to the right. Left hand comes across, and this time we'll take the right arm out and maybe wrap it behind the low back. Maybe even snuggle it to the opposite waist if shoulders are open enough. You can look up or down, whatever works for you. Keep those knees facing forwards. Lovely. Hands coming back to heart. Straightening the legs. Option to lift the heels. We're going to add on this next time. Lovely. Lower those heels with resistance. Inhale. Exhale, drop the hips back last time. Take that little twist to the left. Right hand comes across. Left arm reaches out to the side, maybe up towards the ceiling there. Lovely, coming all the way back through center. And bringing the hands to the heart as you straighten the legs. Pause. Now, option to stay there. Option to lift up onto the balls of the feet. And now is a chance to channel your inner Tom Daley as you reach the arms out to the side. You can come into diver's pose, so arms reach out. And now start to hinge forwards from the hips. Coming forwards as far as feels comfortable, taking the gaze down towards the floor. Here, stay lifted. So maybe your chest comes parallel to the floor. Keep lifting those heels, keep the arms reaching out. Oh, you can feel that stretch the back of the leg. And then drop the heels, bend the knees as you come down into a forward fold. Maybe take the feet a little wider apart and allow the body just to melt down into that forward fold. Come round to face you, lovely. Hands coming to shins or thighs, let's lift up halfway, inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands and take two big steps back into plank pose. See if you can pause for a moment in plank, pressing into your hands, popping up through the upper back there, and then lowering the knees, coming down onto your tummy, and this time making a little pillow for your forehead, resting your head on your hands. And we'll bring that right heel back in towards you, flexing the foot. You can stay there or reach your right arm back behind you. See if you can take hold around the top of the foot or maybe hook your fingers in your trousers. Coming into a little quad stretch, so heel coming to bottom, knees are parallel. And I'm pressing my knee down into the floor, so stretching the knee away from the hip. If you want a little bit more, try pressing your hips gently down into the mat. Lovely, and then slowly releasing that foot. Let's change sides. So left heel coming in, flexing the foot. Reaching back with left hand to take hold around the top of the foot. And bringing the knees back into parallel if you've taken that knee out to the side. And feeling that lovely sense of length through the thigh there. Lovely. And then slowly release. Coming back onto that right leg. So bringing the right heel in. Right arm reaching back. Now, option to stay there in that little quad stretch, or lengthen the left arm out in front of you, bringing the palm flat to the floor, and then lift your chest. You're pressing into your palm, lifting your chest. An option now to lift the thigh, pressing the foot into your hand. The thigh might not lift very fast. We're coming into a half bow pose. Lowering the knee, lowering the chest, releasing the foot. Let's try that on the other side. So left heel coming in. We reach back if we can, coming into that little quad stretch. So heel coming in towards bottom. Option to stay there, or right arm reaches forwards, palm flat. We just press into the hands. You lift your chest a little way, keeping the gaze just down to the floor, just forwards of the fingertips. And then option to push your foot into your hand and see if you can lift your chest a little higher. So both ends of the body lifting. The thigh might not lift at all, or just a little way. Let's lower all the way down, making that little pillow for your forehead as you flick both feet up towards the ceiling. And have a little windscreen wiper action with the legs, or take the legs round in a circle, a little massage for the knees, whatever feels nice. First one way, and then the other if you're doing that little circle. And then sending the legs back down behind you, coming up onto your hands, back onto all fours. And this time we'll bring the knees and the ankles together. So you can lift your shins, flick your feet to one side, and just drop your bottom down to the side and extend both legs out in front of you. So keep a softness in the knees now as you inhale, reaching the arms up. And as you exhale, take a little forward fold, bending those knees as much as you need to. Walking the hands back up the legs. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale as you come down over the legs. Lovely. One last time, walking the hands back up. Inhale to reach up towards the sky. And this time as you exhale, we're going to pause and hold. So you might have your hands on your thighs or your shins. Some of you might be able to take hold of your toes. Tuck your chin in. And try not to force the body. So just feel there's a softness there. Just lingering in that forward fold for a moment, lengthening out through the back seam of the body. And then slowly releasing the hands back up the legs. And we'll bring the right heel in towards you. And let that right knee just roll open out to the side. So you've got the left leg extended in front of you. Just sweep the arms up, big breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to come over that left leg. So try to keep your chest square over the leg. Easing your way down. Oh, I've got a furry friend joining us. Maybe walk the hands back up the legs. And we're going to take that left leg slightly out on the diagonal. You maybe need to bring that heel in towards the groin. Left hand on your thigh or your shin. And inhale, reach the right arm up. And exhale all the way over into a side bend. Lovely. So if your chest is pointing towards the floor, just bring that left hand a little higher up the leg. Lift yourself up a little way. Lovely. Let's reach that right arm all the way up, bringing the hand down by the hip. Now point the toes on the left foot and sweep that left arm in front of the face and maybe lift your hips off the floor. Lovely, lower the hips, sweep that arm in front of your face. Back into that side stretch. Right arm lifting, oh, here he comes. Exhale, he's got to put in an appearance. And then this time we'll take the gaze down towards your left knee and wrap that right hand around your low back. So just slot the back of the hand into your low back so you get a nice opening through the neck and into the shoulder. And Amelia, if you come to join us. Lovely. Slowly, slowly coming back up through center. Last time, right hand comes down, pointing the toes, sweep the left arm in front of the face. You can keep your bottom down or push the hips forwards. And then we'll lower all the way down. Lean into your hands so you can give the legs a little shake. And then we'll swap sides. So extend the legs and bring the left foot in and allow that knee to open out to the side. Many of you have your pets join you and cause chaos. Never happens in a studio. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, let's come down over that forward fold. If any of you watch yoga with Adrienne, who's a lovely yoga teacher online, she's got this lovely dog called Benji. And Benji is so well behaved. He just lies in a corner there. Why have I got the disrupted child cat who comes in and wants to seek all the attention? Let's walk our way all the way back up. And then take that right leg out on the diagonal. Just snuggle the heel in towards your bottom. Right hand on your thigh or your shin. Left arm lifts, inhale. Exhale, coming over the top. Adds a bit of variety, doesn't it? You never know what's going to happen. At least you know I'm filming it in real time. Let's come all the way back up through center. Bringing the left hand down, pointing the right toe, sweep the right arm in front of the face. Option to lift the hips. Hey Milu, I don't pay you for this, do I? Your interruptions, let's lower the hips, sweep the arm in front of the face, back into that side stretch. Hand to thigh or shin, inhale, reach up. Exhale, coming over the top. And this time we'll take the gaze down towards your knee and wrap that top arm around your low back. Getting that nice neck stretch. Oh, good boy, you just lie down there. Lovely, last time to sit up. Hand coming down to the floor, sweep the right arm in front of the face, and option to lift the hips. Roly-poly there, and then come all the way down. Lovely. Lean into your hands so you can extend the legs out in front of you. And then bending the knees, ease your way down onto your back and bring both knees in towards the chest. Have a little rock, have a little roll. Milu's doing just that. He's having a little roll there. We'll copy you, Meals. And then we'll bring the feet down to the floor, taking them a little wider apart. So turning your heels in, your toes out. Arms can come out level with your shoulders or a little cactus of the arms if you're tight for space. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, just tip both knees over to the right. Flexing the feet, relaxing the buttocks. Maybe your chin rolls down to the opposite shoulder. Just softening into that gentle wide knee twist there. Lingering there for a breath or two. And then inhaling, coming up through the center. And exhaling over to the other side. Relaxing the knees down. Lovely. And then coming all the way back through center. If you need to do anything else, maybe a lovely full body stretch, straightening the arms and the legs all the way back. Before you find a really comfortable position, just for a couple of moments to relax. If you've got your legs outstretched, take your feet hip width apart, have a little roll across the back of your heels, and then let your toes roll open so your hips can relax. If you've got your knees bent, maybe take your feet wide and just rest your knees against each other like you did before. I'm just going to come up to seated so I can talk to you. So whatever position you've chosen, take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just let the body settle into that position there. I don't know whether you can hear it, but really is doing some syncopated purring for you. So after the movement, a little bit of stillness there. And I'll leave you with these lovely words. It's from a poem called Breathe. Maybe some of these lines you might want to take forward with you into the rest of the day. I hope you take the time to be silent, to close your eyes and just listen. I hope you take the time to be still, to quiet your mind and experience the beauty of simply being. In a world that tells us we should always be connected, on the go and doing something worth sharing, I hope you know it's okay to disconnect, slow down, and keep some memories between you and the moment you shared it with. So if you want to stay lying down on your back for a little longer, feel free. If you want to come and join me, take a moment to extend the legs if the knees are bent. Just take a moment, floating the arms back above the head, coming into that full body stretch again. And then gather your knees up towards your chest. A little massage across the back, rocking from side to side. Before you roll onto one side or the other, come up to a comfortable seated position. Milu and me. So hands just on the knees, just lifting up and out of the hips. Lift the heart a little higher. A smile on your face, ready to face the rest of the day. Let's take an inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, and bring the hands to the heart, the chin to the chest. Thank you for joining us today, me and Milu. So may the rest of your day be calm, and may you find some time to linger, doing something lovely. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much.